had to describe Mimi in one phrase, it would be force of nature, because she will not be stopped and she will not be hindered by what is existing or by naysayers or by anybody who is telling her she can't do what she wants to do.
My mother is a tough broad and a very shrewd negotiator, and she's savvier about human beings and what motivates them than anyone I've ever seen.
When I think about my mother, the word I think is irrepressible. We love you, Mimi.
She's disarming and charming and focused. So she knows how to talk to anyone.
She has something special in her demeanor, in her spirit, in her outlook that you don't see it almost anywhere.
When people say she's a force of nature, when people say she's resilient, it is because she is a woman of immense faith in people's ability to rise above their circumstances.
I know how I've been described. A lot of people call me dynamic and short and dynamic and all those things. But I see myself as fixing things, because the people I work with break things all the time. Their insides are broken. They break the mayonnaise when they make it in the restaurant. They break this if they're moving it, you know. They break themselves and they break all other things, and they don't know how to get close to people. I do know how to get close to people.
Literally, I came to Delancey Street a total wreck, and she took me under her wing and just kind of gave me a new, not only a new life, but a new birth for the new life. She's taught me everything that I've known here. So if it hadn't been for her, I don't think that I would be standing here doing this, and I don't think that I would probably most likely be not alive, because I had a really, really horrible past. You know, I've been a drug addict, I've been a convict, I've been a gang member, I've been into a lot of violence, and it just wasn't supposed to end like this. But if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't be standing here.
I think Mimi has created, the pathway. She's created the route for people that's been so extraordinarily and unpredictably, I would say probably at the beginning, successful in showing the way and lighting that pathway so that people know exactly what they need to do and how to get there.
I have a relative that was one of the early residents of Delancey Street and completely turned his life around. So it's absolutely inspiring, is really what I think Mimi does best and describes her best.
My nephew got in trouble in Arizona, and he was 19, and he picked up 2 cocaine cases, one with a gun, in the course of 11 months, and had a drug problem, of course, and was lost, like you can imagine that is. And so he was on his way to prison, probably to a 10-year sentence in Arizona, but Delancey Street had established itself there too as an alternative. So I called David Silbert, Mimi's son, who is a mensch, and told him, and I had no idea how you got in or how hard it was to get in or anything. And David said, I'll take care of it. And 2 seconds later, Mimi called and said, I'm going to get him in here. And so they did all the things that they do with the judge, and he was here for 2 years, maybe a little bit more than that, and it saved his life. I mean, he's now a teacher in San Francisco public schools. He put himself through college. He's just totally together, and he's more of an evolved human being, in my opinion, than if that hadn't happened to him, because he got to come here to Delancey Street and do all the things that this program does.
Because of the work that she does at Delancey Street, she knows that it's never too late. Because you see some of these kids who are pretty hard-boiled and you think, we've lost our opportunity, and she says, expletive, we've not lost our opportunity. And then she tells a story about an adult who came here at 35 years old, who had been through all manner of things. It's like, if we can change this one, don't tell me we can't change a child's life.
Delancey Street was founded on the principle that a beloved therapeutic community could take people out of the despair of crime and addiction and build hope
build pathways to hope by teaching people 3 different types of skills: a people skill, a physical skill, and a paper-based skill, so that not only could people have jobs, but function in society, not as ex-cons or ex-drug addicts, but as members of society, contributing members of the community.
I think what's unique about Delancey Street, and it's captured in the metaphor of the name, is that it's a community of people who are outsiders to our society, banding together and lifting themselves up and together. And that really is what it is. That's how it operates, and that's how it works. And I think that formula, it's hard to reproduce, but it works magic.
It's a madness to be always sitting around in sadness when you should be learning the steps of gladness.
Mimi is extraordinary because she doesn't fit into the usual categories. And what she founded with John Maher was an institution that treated people as human beings. It didn't put them into categories of this ethnic group or this problem or this trait. She treated people and met them where they were, but demanded and expected that they act themselves as decent human beings. And that has engendered a tremendous therapeutic community that is the wonder of the whole world of penal reform and sociology and all the rest.
When anyone says the name Mimi Silbert, I think her name is worth a million faces, a million happy faces of people whose lives she has improved.
Mimi Silbert, in creating Delancey Street, has done the world a great service. Of course, that service is in part to the human beings who have a chance in Delancey Street to succeed, to get an education, to learn how to support themselves and be genuine citizens in this world, productive people. It's always been interesting to me that Delancey Street says we want our residents to wind up being self-supporting. So Delancey Street has to set the example. We don't take donations, we support ourselves. And examples make a big difference. But Mimi is kind of a combination of a saint and a miracle worker. But she believes in what she's doing. And you can feel it. And I'm sure the residents all feel it, that she thinks you can succeed. And therefore, you want to do it.
The way we work is we change the outside of them. And so they develop a new outside, and then we say, that outside has helped so many people. It's what we call each one teach one. So you act as if you care. You act as if you're decent. You act as if all those things that you don't care about. And nobody knows why, but on some weird Tuesday at 3 o'clock or something, that person starts to care. And then everything starts to change. And when that starts to happen, that's when they say, that's what you mean by hope. And then it begins to internalize. It's an odd thing. And so for them, I would say, all of them say, you've saved my life, not just changed my life. They really feel they were dying.
I just can't, it's like asking, what can you remember about your best friend? Well, we went fishing once. No, she's one of my best friends.
I mean, she is a magnificent force of nature, a wonderful person, and I can't think of anybody better for us to pay tribute to.
Wave a new step every